Last month, a guy rolled into my bay ready to drop $40,000 on a used Range Rover. I popped the hood, pulled the history, and handed him a number on a sticky note, roughly $11,000 in likely repairs, before that thing crossed 100,000 miles. Then I told him about a different luxury SUV. Same leather, same badge respect in the right driveways, a V8 engineered to run 300,000 miles for less than half the money. He looked at me like I'd insulted his mother. 26 years turning wrenches has taught me one thing the dealerships will never admit. The luxury SUVs nobody wants on the lot are exactly the ones quietly outliving everything parked around them. Today I'm counting down 5 luxury SUVs the market forgot, but mechanics never will. I'm going deepest on number 1 because that's the one I'd buy tomorrow with my own money. Let's get into it. Number 5, Acura RDX. This is the cheapest way to put a genuinely bulletproof luxury badge in your driveway, and almost nobody talks about it. I'm specifically talking about the second generation RDX, 2013 through 2018, and there's a beautiful piece of engineering history behind why this one lasts. The first generation RDX came with a turbocharged 4-cylinder. It was quick, it was clever, and turbos are one more expensive thing waiting to fail. So Acura did something that looks backward on paper, but genius in the real world. They threw the turbo in the trash and dropped in a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6, the J35, the same family of engine that has powered Honda Odysseys and Accords past 300,000 miles for 2 decades. No turbo to blow, no boost to baby, just a torquey, lazy, overbuilt V6 making about 279 horsepower, bolted to a conventional 6-speed automatic. Not a dual clutch, not a continuously variable transmission that slips and shudders. A plain old torque converter automatic that takes a beating and asks for nothing. I had a customer, a nurse who worked 12-hour shifts, buy a 2015 RDX with 71,000 miles for $16,500. She drives 90 miles round trip every single day. She is at 184,000 miles now. You know what she has spent in repairs over 3 years? A serpentine belt, 1 set of front pads, and an oil leak from a valve cover gasket that cost her $190. That's it. The one thing you have to know about the J35 in these is the timing belt. It is a belt, not a chain, and Acura wants it replaced around 105,000 miles. Budget $800 to $1,200 at a good independent shop. Skip it, and the engine can destroy itself, so this is non-negotiable. But here's the thing. That is a known, scheduled, predictable expense. That is not a surprise. That is the price of admission to an engine that will otherwise run damn near forever. When you go shopping for one, here is your checklist. First, get proof. The timing belt was done if it is over 100,000 miles. In writing, a receipt, not a story. Second, on all-wheel drive models, find an empty lot, do tight figure eights, and feel for any clunk or bind in the rear. Third, check the oil level on the dipstick. Some J-Series engines with cylinder deactivation sip a little oil, so make sure the previous owner kept it topped. Fourth, poke the touchscreen. The dual screen setup on these can get laggy with age. Annoying, not mechanical. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants Honda reliability wearing a nicer suit for under $18,000. Who should skip it? If you need a third row, this is a 2-row compact. Move along. But if you think the RDX is overlooked, This next one might be the single most depreciated, reliable luxury SUV in America. Number 4. Acura MDX. The MDX is what happens when you take everything good about that RDX and stretch it into a 3-row family hauler that costs a fraction of what it should. I'm talking about the third generation, 2014 through 2020. Same J35 V6 philosophy, naturally aspirated, no turbo, the kind of engine that gets passed down to the next kid in the family because it refuses to die. Honda's J-Series has a documented reputation for running past 300,000 miles on nothing but fluids, and the MDX rides on that exact reputation. It outsold the Lexus RX and the Infiniti QX60 in its day, and yet on the used lot, people walk right past it to overpay for a German badge that will bankrupt them by year 4. Now, I'm going to be straight with you because that's the whole point of this channel. The MDX has one thing you need to understand before you buy. For 2014, it came with a proven 6-speed automatic. Starting in 2015, Acura switched to a ZF-sourced 9-speed, and the early ones had a real reputation for clunky low-speed shifts and a bit of shudder. Software updates fixed a lot of it, and plenty of them run fine to 200,000 miles, but you need to test for it. On your test drive, creep through a parking lot at 5 to 10 miles per hour and feel for harsh, confused shifting. If it bangs into gear or hunts around, walk. If it's smooth, you found a good one. The engine underneath is the bulletproof part. The transmission is the part you inspect. Same timing belt rule applies, around 105,000 miles. The service costs $800 to $1,400, so get the receipt. I put a buddy of mine into a 2016 MDX, 6-cylinder, all-wheel drive, 88,000 miles for $19,200. A comparable Audi Q7 of the same year was sitting 2 spots over for $31,000. He's got 3 car seats in the back, hauls his family 4 hours every holiday, and in 2 years, he's done brakes, tires, and 1 transmission fluid service. The Audi guy? I've seen that story end in air suspension failures and timing chain tensioners that cost more than the car's worth. The MDX is the unsexy, sensible, will still be running when your kid borrows it choice. Who should buy it? Families who want 3 rows, Lexus-level reliability, and 0 interest in lighting money on fire. Who should skip it? If maximum cargo and rugged off-road is the goal, keep watching, because the next 3 are body-on-frame tanks. And number 4's depreciation looks tame compared to what's coming. Number 3, Infiniti QX80. This is the one that genuinely makes me shake my head, because the Infiniti QX80 might be the most aggressively depreciating reliable luxury SUV on the entire market. The numbers are almost offensive. Industry data pegs the QX80 at losing right around 65% of its value over 5 years. A truck that's stickered north of $70,000 new is sitting on used lots for a third of that. And the engine inside it is one of the most overbuilt V8 engines the Japanese ever made. Under that giant hood is the VK56VD, a 5.6-liter V8 making about 400 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque. That's not some delicate boutique engine. That's the same V8 family Nissan bolts into the Patrol, the Armada, and the Titan, vehicles people run into the ground in deserts and on job sites all over the world. Enthusiasts swap this engine into other cars on purpose because it's so stout. It's a real body-on-frame truck chassis luxury SUV pretending to be a soft mall crawler. Here's the story that sold me on these. A contractor came in towing a trailer with a high-mileage half-ton that was nickel and diming him to death. I told him to go look at a used QX80. He found a 2016 with 96,000 miles for $24,000, a truck that cost over $75,000 new. He tows with it, his wife drives it on weekends, and it now has 158,000 miles. Total repairs in his ownership, a set of brakes, which on a Sixers 1,000-pound truck you expect, and a battery. That VK56 just turns and turns. There are two honest catches with this one, and I'll never hide them from you. First, it drinks fuel. Expect mid-teens, maybe worse, around town. This is a V8 the size of a small apartment. Second, this engine is genuinely sensitive to fuel quality. Cheap, contaminated gas can damage the catalytic converters over time, and that debris can find its way back into the engine. So buy one with clean maintenance records and feed it good fuel. Do that, and it's a tank. Inspection checklist. First, demand maintenance history and look for consistent quality service, not a mystery past. Second, these have a sophisticated suspension setup on many trims, so listen for any whine or sag and check that it sits level. Suspension components on big luxury rigs are where the money hides. Third, it's a heavy truck, so inspect brakes and rotors closely and budget for them as a wear item. Fourth, walk the body. These are enormous, and enormous vehicles get curbed, scraped, and parked badly. So look for collision history. Who should buy it? Someone who wants a 400 horsepower V8 tow rig with captain's chairs and quilted leather for the price of a base economy car. Who should skip it? If gas prices keep you up at night, this is not your truck. But if the QX80's depreciation is insulting, this next one is the most reliable engine on this entire list, and Toyota X-rayed it to prove it. Number 2. Lexus LX 570. Let me tell you what you are actually buying when you buy a Lexus LX 570, because most people have no idea. You are buying a Toyota Land Cruiser, the exact same truck, same body on frame chassis, same legendary 200 series platform, same drivetrain, with a quieter cabin and ventilated leather thrown on top. And here is the kicker. A used LX 570 is almost always cheaper than the equivalent Land Cruiser of the same year, because the Land Cruiser has a cult following that drives its price into the stratosphere, while the Lexus badge somehow scares people off. You are paying less to get the identical mechanicals with more luxury. That is backward, and it is your opportunity. The heart of it is the 3URFE, a 5.7-liter V8 making 383 horsepower, and this is where it gets ridiculous. This is the same V8 family used in the Tundra, the Sequoia, and the Land Cruiser. Toyota reportedly ran this engine through the equivalent of 800,000 miles of durability testing before it ever hit a showroom. They X-rayed the engine blocks, looking for flaws in the metal. There is a documented Tundra that crossed 1 million miles on its original engine. I am not exaggerating any of this. In the shop, these things just do not come in for engine work. The body on frame underneath gives you full-time four-wheel drive, low range, crawl control, and that trick KDSS suspension that lets a 3-ton luxury truck actually climb a mountain. A retired couple brought me a 2013 LX 570 they had bought with 110,000 miles for around $32,000. I laughed and told them, on this platform, 110,000 miles is barely broken in. They have since taken it across the country twice. The honest catches: 1, fuel economy is genuinely bad, low to mid-teens, because you are moving a tank with a giant V8. 2, the only real engine quirk to watch is some oil consumption and the occasional oil leak from the valley area on higher mileage examples, which can get pricey if it is bad, so check the oil and look for leaks. When you shop, verify the oil level and condition, look underneath for leaks, confirm the CDSS and the height control suspension move and settle properly, and make sure it has received regular oil changes. Who should buy it? Somebody who wants a Land Cruiser that will outlive them, dressed in a tuxedo, for less than the Land Cruiser costs. Who should skip it? City dwellers allergic to gas stations and tight parking spots. Now, if you have stuck with me this far, and this straight talk is saving you from a bad purchase, do me a favor and subscribe. I have more videos coming on exactly which luxury vehicles to avoid and which ones the salesmen pray you never figure out. Because this last one, number 1, is the SUV I recommend over every other vehicle on this list, and it is the one I would put my own family in. Number 1, Lexus GX 460. The GX 460 is the best-kept secret in the entire luxury SUV market. And here's the sentence that'll change how you shop forever. It is not a fancy 4Runner. Everybody thinks that. They're wrong. The GX is built on the Land Cruiser Prado, a more robust, more refined platform that most Americans have never even heard of because we never got the Prado here. So when you buy a GX 460, you're buying a Land Cruiser we were never sold, with a Lexus interior bolted on. Under the hood sits the 1UR FE, a 4.6-liter V8 making 301 horsepower, paired to a proven 6-speed automatic built by Aisin. No turbo, no dual clutch, no timing belt to replace. It's a chain. It's a naturally aspirated body-on-frame V8 with full-time four-wheel drive, a torsion differential, low range, and that same KDSS suspension. It is mechanically almost impossible to kill. Consumer Reports has named model years of this thing among the most reliable vehicles ever built, and on the forums you'll find owner after owner cruising past 200,000 miles, having done nothing but fluids, brakes, and one throttle body. Here's the part that should make you angry in the best way. Because the GX is a real Lexus on a real Land Cruiser-derived frame, it actually holds its value better than most of this list, only losing around 41% over 5 years. But it still sells for thousands less than a comparable German 3-row, and a fraction of what a new one costs, precisely because the average buyer dismisses it as old-fashioned. It is old-fashioned. That's the whole point. While Audi and BMW and Land Rover were stuffing their SUVs full of air suspension and turbos and electronics that detonate the second the warranty ends, Lexus left the GX gloriously, stubbornly simple. I'll tell you about the customer who argued with me, because everyone does it first. A woman came in dead set on a used Range Rover Sport, budget around $30,000, convinced it was the only thing nice enough. I walked her to the back of my lot and pointed at a high-mileage GX 460, a tech here, drives every day, well past 190,000 miles, dead, reliable, never stranded him once. She bought a 2015 GX 460 with 84,000 miles for $28,500 instead. She texted me last winter from a snowed-in mountain road that thing climbed without flinching. Her words, "Why does nobody talk about this truck?" That's the entire reason I made this video. First, the early years, 2010 to 2012, had some appetite for oil and the occasional rear air suspension leak, so on those, check the oil and confirm the truck sits level and that the suspension rises properly. Later years ironed most of that out. Second, do the parking lot test, full lock, slow circle, and listen for any binding or clunk from the four-wheel drive system. Smooth means good. Third, on northern trucks, get underneath and look at the frame and undercarriage for rust, like any body on frame vehicle. Fourth, the pro move. Find one owned by an older couple who garaged it and serviced it on time. A pampered low-mileage GX is basically a brand new truck with a discount. Who should buy it? Honestly, almost anyone who wants a luxury SUV they can keep for 15 years and hand down. Who should skip it? If you need a fuel sipper or sporty handling, the GX is neither. It drives like the honest, durable tank that it is. But if I had to buy one luxury SUV today, write a check, and drive it for the next decade with the lowest possible chance of a major repair, I would buy a GX 460 and never look back. So there it is. 5 luxury SUVs the market quietly gave up on, while mechanics keep buying them on the down low. The Acura RDX, a turbo-free V6 bargain. The Acura MDX, 3 rows of Honda-grade reliability for German SUV money. The Infiniti QX80, the most insulting depreciation on a genuinely tough V8 truck you will ever see. The Lexus LX 570, a million-mile Land Cruiser hiding behind a luxury badge. And the Lexus GX 460, the Prado we were never supposed to get, and the one I would buy over anything else here. Next time a salesman tries to steer you toward a 3-year-old German lease return with a warranty about to expire, you will know exactly what he is not telling you. If this saved you from a $40,000 mistake, hit that like button and subscribe so the next one finds you too. Take care of the right SUV, and it will take care of you for a very, very long time. I'll see you in the next one.